Good morning and welcome to the Bubba Show for Tuesday. I hope everybody had an enjoyable Memorial Day weekend, had enjoyed the time off, and paid tribute to our fallen soldiers and to members of your own, and you took a little time to give some thought. But here we are, a new week, and we, as we do on Monday usually, but this week it'll be Tuesday, is recap and preview. So, taking a look at last week, the markets once again continued on their upward move until, and a funny thing happened on Wednesday. Ben Bernanke's testimony was released and the markets were flying, and it looked like new highs were going to be made once again, and the markets were never going to go down again. And then all of a sudden, what was good news turned out to be bad news, and the markets had a key reversal, which we will actually discuss later in this week in the show. But the markets then sold off from up 155 to down almost 100. Thursday morning brought some more heavy selling before cooler heads prevailed on A, the FOMC, and B, the sell-off in Japan. And finally, the days closed lower. And of course, Friday brought very, very light volume as we were preparing for the holiday weekend. And it also brought another rally and dull market conditions. So as you can see, the market broke its 4-week winning streak, so it had 4 out of the last 5 weeks now that have been up. The market's been up a bunch of days, but that key reversal is pretty important to look at and to understand and to watch. And now that we see the Fed governors starting to have some infighting within themselves on what they want to do with interest rates, it now looks like a market top is possibly in. And I think we want to start to watch certain levels. But you can see that the actual action was very challenging towards the end of the week. But again, it was on lighter volume except for on the selling days. So that's something else to take note of. So as we take a look going forward into this week, this is going to be a short week. So we're going to see how today's action works out. Now, just interesting enough, an interesting fact, the markets have been up the last 19 Tuesdays in a row. I would not be surprised to see number 20 here. But I think what you want to look now is you want to look at the S&P. You want to look at the pivot of 1650. Either side. I think the top is in around 1670, 1680 in the S&P. I think you want to very closely watch this pivot. Below 1650, I think it's an opportunity to short the market. As we saw gold had some very volatile days last week and ended up closing up near around that 1400 level, which would be another good opportunity to take a stab. The general markets were whipping around fairly good, but I think as we look into this week, what we now want to focus on is how the market actually reacts on overall news. If news continues to be ignored, that means that the doves, or the guys that want to keep the QE going, is still in play. If bad news starts to make the market sell off, that means that the hawks are starting to take charge here, and that you can look for the tops to be in. The way I see it, it looks like the hawks are in more charge here, which the hawks are the ones who want to start to rise interest rates and want to stop with the quantitative easing program. So as we look at the picture, we really want to see the action today because it's hard to, we've had a long weekend without any real news. The futures were up slightly over the weekend. So we really want to focus on to see the action here. You really want to watch this 1650 pivot in the S&P. Let's see how the trade goes today. We will make more of a determination as the week goes on, but I do believe that the top has been put in the market. It doesn't mean that we're going straight down. All it means is that I think we now have a good resistance spot in which we can sell. So let's focus on what's going on. Let's see how it looks for the rest of the week, and we will see you tomorrow on Wednesday with the news. Remember, the Average Joe Options call. Been really great, having a great time doing it. If you'd like to find out more about it, Todd at AverageJoeOptions.com. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you Wednesday.